Good morning. World Water Day 2022. Why is celebrate World Water Day? World Water Day on 22nd March is celebrated every year around the world to create awareness about the importance of water, its conservation, and its sustainable management of its water resources. Theme of the World Water Day 2022: groundwater making the invisible visible. Though groundwater is invisible, but its impacts are visible everywhere. Groundwater has become fundamental resource for drinking, for household activities, industrial use, agricultural use, and urban development. It also sustains the ecosystem and maintains the base flow in the river itself. Despite above uses, it is out of sight, out of mind. Out of sight, out of mind by most of the people. It is the need of the hour to spread awareness about the importance of the groundwater. We always hear the word sustainable water management. What does it mean? Sustainable water management means using water in a such way that it meets the requirement of current and also meets the requirement of future too. What are the concern about this? Whatever quantity of groundwater is extracted, same should be replenished. Unfortunately, the extraction of groundwater is too much in comparison to the replenishment. The extreme use of groundwater resources have serious concern such as land subsidence, vegetation degradation, livelihood loss for rural poor, and food security implications. What does this mean, vegetation degradation? If the groundwater is going down, then the density of vegetation above the ground will be reduced, or yield of the crop will be reduced. This will have an impact on the livelihood and the food security too. What is food security? Every citizen in the country should have a 2 times meal at least, good meal. Government of India also is doing this. They are also distributing subsidized grains to the poor people under this scheme. Why the demand is increasing day by day? What is the reason behind it? Because our country is one of the populous country in the world, which is 17.1% of the world population. And similarly, livestock population is also 20% of the world's livestock population. Due to population growth, rapid urbanization, industrial growth, and change in land use pattern have increased the water demand tremendously. Population growth, every day, 50 to 60,000 births are taking place. If you calculate on yearly basis, it will be not less than 1.5 crore every year. So the quantity available, this per capita availability of water is decreasing day by day. Rapid urbanization, when people are shifting to the urban area, this is urbanization. One of the reports says that about 40% people will be shifted to urban areas up to 2030. When people shifting to urban areas, they consume water. That extraction of groundwater increases. Industrial growth. There are some water consuming industry also coming up. Normal industry is also taking water. So the industries also consume water and to groundwater. Changing land use pattern. When we change the land use from forest to agriculture, agriculture to industrial or residential. Whenever we change the land use pattern, the water consumption increases, and there is always a load on the groundwater resource. These are the reasons for increased demand of the groundwater. One of the report given by Niti Aayog regarding water crisis, 21 cities in India including Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad will run out of groundwater in 2020, affecting around 100 million people. The report also says that 40% India's population will have no access to the safe drinking water by 2030. This is a very alarming situation, and we have to tackle it urgently. Another report says that 600 million people are facing extreme to high water stress in India. What does it mean by water stress? People are getting too less water in reference to their requirement. Too less, that is water stress. If you are getting too less water, this is also very grim situation. One of the example of the Chennai, that city has suffered a worst flood and day zero. In 2015, Chennai suffered the worst flood in a century, 494 mm water in a day. What does it mean, 494 mm of water? 494 mm, the 494 liter water in per square meter area. You can imagine the quantity of water. More than 400 people in the state were killed, 1.8 million people were flooded out from their home. Just after 4 years above the incident, there was a shortage of water that made the headlines. It was declared day zero. Day zero means municipality is not able to supply the water, as the reservoirs ran dry. And this has forced the government to arrange water from far places. Both events are linked with one reason, that is the climate change. One report also says that the area of water bodies in that city were reduced from 12.6 kilometer to 3.2 square kilometer. And the IT corridor was constructed on the 320 square kilometer on the marshy land. This may be one of the reasons for the intense flood. Another report also says that the groundwater, this 60% groundwater will be critically degraded up to 2030. Surface water is a major share. We cannot deal groundwater in isolation. Water above ground is equally important, which is 70%. Unless we store water above the ground, which is available due to the melting of glacier and rains, we cannot reduce the extraction of the groundwater. We will have to make arrangement for storing and preventing from being contaminated too. Effects of climate change. Due to climate change, seasons have altered. Farmers are not getting their water for irrigation as per their need. They are forced to use groundwater. Climate change is also responsible for polluting our groundwater resources. How they are polluting the resources? Due to global warming, these glaciers are melting and going to the sea and reaching the level of the sea, and that raised level is polluting our groundwater resources in coastal areas. Similarly, in when the heavy rains are coming, all the fecal material, all the dust, all the this and this fertilized land, fertilized soil are going to the river. This increases the nutrient in the river. There is algae growth in there. The algae produce a dangerous toxin, which is harmful for the people, harmful for the animal, harmful for the aquatic material also. This biological contamination by the fecal material is also increases the E. coli in the water, and this heavy metals from the particulate matters are also going to the river through rains. So these are all polluting the surface water, river water, and after that it is polluting the groundwater resource also. Due to extinction of species, insects are increasing and are responsible for harming and eating away the standing crops. Now farmers are forced to use insecticide which pollute the groundwater. Due to global warming, loss of organic carbon also there, that reduces the crop yield accordingly. Effects of air pollution on the water. Along with the greenhouse gas emission, pollution level is also increasing. In winter season, air quality index is crossing severe level 2, especially in Delhi. Every city is suffering from air pollution. It's releasing PM, particulate matters, SO2, NOx, ozone and ammonia etc. in the atmosphere. Water bodies are being polluted by acid rains and by arsenic, lead and nickel. Discharge from the particulate matters and also from the industrial effluents. From particulate matters through the rains they are coming to the water bodies. These heavy metals are also polluting the river water, the water bodies. For reduction in emission greenhouse gases, air pollution, and for augmentation of groundwater, a series of steps have already been taken and are being taken by the government of India. What action government is taking? First, I am discussing about the Paris Climate Agreement, or you can say COP26. How this Paris Climate Agreement is helping in reducing load on the groundwater. Three contributions were agreed in Paris 2015. Later on, these were revised in COP26 at Glasgow, Scotland. Revised commitments are: generation of electricity by non-fossil fuel would be 50% up to 2030. Renewable energy capacity would be 500 gigawatt up to 2030. Reduction in carbon intensity by 45% up to 2030. Creation of additional carbon sink of 1 billion ton up to 2030. Net zero carbon would be achieved by 2070. (500 gigawatt installed capacity from non-fossil fuel will generate electricity without emission of greenhouse gases, and pollution will also be zero. Out of the 500 gigawatt capacity, 16 gigawatt is from hydro. Installed capacity at 2019 was the 45 gigawatt and the projected figure is 61 gigawatt in 2030. So this 16 gigawatt is to be to achieve this capacity. 15 to 20 hydro projects including small medium dams will be constructed and made functional by 2030. It means these dams would be able to store additional water which would be utilized for drinking and irrigation purposes. It will certainly reduce load on the groundwater. We just know that we have constructed a dam and this is having a 2600 million cubic meter is live reservoir. I am supposing that these dams will be small dam, medium dam. This will, at least I am assuming that 800 million cubic meter will be stored by each dam. 20 dams means into 800 will be 16,000 million cubic meter. It will be good storage and it will help in the drinking water, irrigation and reducing load on the groundwater. Thermals, the installed capacity thermal and gas in 2019 was 64% of the total installed capacity, while projected installed capacity in 2030 is 36% of total installed capacity. The average water requirement of coal-based plants with cooling tower is about 5 to 7 cubic meter water per megawatt hour. GOI, Government of India is not going to add new thermal plants apart from what has already been planned. It's a good decision to avoid emission, air pollution and would help in saving the water too. %45% emission is to be reduced by 2030. Remaining emission will generate particulate matters, SO2, NOx, ammonia and ozone etc. Action have already been taken to reduce this pollutant up to safe level by using suitable technology by each industry. So, this how they are reducing the pollution, we will discuss in another video. Creation of additional carbon sink. Creation of additional carbon sink of 1 billion ton, equivalent CO2 up to 2030. It will not only sequester CO2 from atmosphere but also helpful in reducing pollutant from atmosphere and helpful in restoring biodiversity too. Forests are helpful in recharging groundwater by preventing surface runoff. Further leads to precipitation and less evaporation. So, it will be, this carbon sink will be achieved by forestation made by each province of the government, each province of the India. In UP, in 2016 to 2020, 100 crores plants were planted. In one of the year, they have reached the 25 crore plants in one day. So, it's a very good situation. If you achieve that forestation of 2030, certainly the condition will be improved. And this biodiversity will improve and ground recharge will also be increased. There is some other works done by the Government of India, that is Atal Bhujal Yojana. Atal Bhujal Yojana is a central scheme of Ministry of Jal Shakti to improve groundwater management through community participation. Above scheme is running in 8,350 gram panchayats in 7 78 districts of 7 states: Gujarat, Haryana, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh. These are the villages where groundwater table is shrinking or going down. Farmers are being educated to how to prepare their estimates of water, how to select their crop according to their low consumption of water, and how to use technology to reducing the irrigation water also. If this project will be is scheduled to be completed by 2025, and after completion it is certainly going to augment the level of the groundwater. Restoration of 26 million hectare degraded land up to 2030. Restoration of land will address issues like biodiversity, climate change, livelihood, food security in India. It would help in recharging the groundwater too. We heard the Indore city in Madhya Pradesh. Indore have the title of cleanest city in the India for consecutive years. Indore has been given a first water plus city in India. What they are doing? Dirty water is not allowed to go to river or the drains, and 30% sewer water is recycled. Use of river water and recycled water shall certainly lower the demand of groundwater. Recycled water can be used in this irrigation of parks, or fire extinguisher works, or flushing of the toilets, or any other unimportant work. They are reducing the load on the groundwater too. Landfill sites are where we dump waste are dumped. One of the source of pollution for the groundwater. Chemicals are reaching from the bottom of the landfill site and going to the groundwater. How it will be improved? We may use lining by the earth, that should be lined by earth, or synthetic liners should be used to protect the groundwater. Revival of old water bodies. Due to rapid urbanization, some of the water bodies, lakes, ponds, tanks, bodies have already been enclosed or made waste disposal sites. Water bodies should be planned to be revived within the fixed time period throughout the country. If revived, act as a source of drinking water, recharge groundwater, and support biodiversity. It would reduce load on the groundwater. Delhi government is taking steps to make Delhi city of lakes. Rejuvenation of 201 water bodies has been finalized with aim to achieve BOD 10 ppm. Rainwater harvesting system. This is a very unique system easy system to charge the groundwater. Rainwater is a free and clean source of water. It can charge the groundwater beside other purposes. It can be easily constructed and maintained. What is recommendation for the government? Old water bodies should be revived at war footing by government throughout the country. It will provide tremendous storage facility for the rainwater. Lands are available, only encroachments are to be cleared. Similarly, roof rainwater harvesting system should be made mandatory for each house, as toilets were constructed for every house. Lesson from Chennai and Indore. What the Chennai people are doing now? They ensuring that all water related works should be done from the rain harvesting. Water saving they are also doing, and recycling also being done by them, and also caring for the water resources. Rather, you can say protecting the water resources. If Chennai can do, why can't we do in our city. If Indore can become water plus city, then every city can become water plus city. We'd have to follow the measures as taken by Indore. As a citizen, what is our duty? It is duty of every citizen to install a solar system in his house to cater his electricity requirement. Subsidy is also being given, that should be availed. It would be helpful. It would help government to close the thermal power houses if solar power is in abundant. A rooftop rainwater harvest system must be got constructed by every citizen to store rainwater. It would certainly charge the groundwater. If not stored, it would increase the surface flow as well as increase the discharge in the drains and nalas. So it's all about the World Water Day, and thank you very much.